Oh, you can just hear you can hear I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there is a car horn going off right now. Anyways, hello and welcome to a new video, Mini Swole Gang. So today we're gonna do a little bit of a different kind of video. I've always wanted to do a little bit of a sit down and let's talk kind of video and just answer some questions that I have received from people over like past couple months or weeks. Just general questions. So I think the three main things that I'll talk about today will be how I stay motivated in the gym, how I get very locked in and concentrated when I'm working out, as well as how I progressively increase the weight every single week, or at least try to hit a new personal best every week. Albeit I don't do it every single week, like it doesn't happen every single week, but I try my best to. So with that, we'll start off with the first topic, how I stay motivated. So I think it's just interesting. I think the why is the biggest thing. Why are you doing this, right? So, and I guess you can really want something, but if you don't have a why or a purpose as to why you're doing it, then it can be definitely more harder to stay motivated. And I think for me, my why is because I love it. I'm very passionate about it. It makes me happy. And it also really helps too that I kind of feel like I do motivate, or at least I hope I am. But when I post, I try to make it so I can hopefully motivate other people to kind of want to, you know, delve into fitness or try to explore a little bit more, maybe even just start going to the gym. That also helps me stay motivated as well, receiving that feedback from you guys. So lots of love for that. And I find that when you're passionate about something, it's just easy for you to wake up and feel happy doing it. So it's kind of similar to individuals who, let's say, are food bloggers. If you really, really love food, you're gonna go and search for the next best thing to try. So for example, Krispy Kreme just opened, right? There's also Dave's Hot Chicken that just opened. And you know, you're gonna search and you're gonna find it, you're gonna hear about it because you're within that group of people, right? That is your environment. So you're gonna know, and you're gonna go with your friends and you're gonna go try out that next thing, right? And same thing with video games, right? You're gonna be very well in tuned with what the next new game is. You're gonna be very excited about it and you're gonna go play, right? And so I guess it's kind of the same thing with fitness, right? So maybe there's a new piece of equipment that I'm gonna try, and it doesn't even have to be a new piece of equipment, but for example, for me, it might be just a slight change in my meals, or maybe a slight change in my program with regards to the actual training itself. So maybe we've increased the rep range. Maybe we have changed exercises. So now I get to try to execute a new one and practice, making my form better, making my tempo better, increasing weight, progressively overloading, all those things. And those are things that just excite me when I go into the gym. So that's how I stay motivated, is every single time, like it just excites me knowing that there's so many different avenues that I can go into the gym and work on. And it doesn't have to always be I'm going to increase the weight, although that's what you guys do see. Sometimes I'm just excited that my tempo is better. Sometimes I'm just excited that the control is better. Sometimes I'm just excited that I can hold on to a weight without my wrist straps. Sometimes I'm excited that I can feel the contraction in a particular muscle that I couldn't feel the week before. So there are so many different like areas of working out that I can get excited about that keeps me motivated. In addition to also having that end goal of, you know, stepping on stage, obtaining a pro card, all of that, right? And I feel like that's probably with everything in life, right? So for example, your career, right? You want to be a lawyer, a doctor, nurse, or police officer. You want to be that professional. So I think that's a very important factor, is just knowing that you have an end goal. And it doesn't even have to be like what I'm doing, like going on stage. You don't even have to want to go on stage. It could just simply be, oh, I want to be healthier. As for staying locked in, now this one here, I have had to sit and think about, because I just kind of unconsciously did it. I would go into the gym and lock in, but I never really sat and thought about how or why. And so I came across this one YouTube video, which I hope I can find, and I will try to link it for you guys. But it was talking about establishing an alter ego. Now, if you haven't heard of it, a lot of professional athletes do this, and I unconsciously did that like when I first started my Instagram. So if you guys know Kobe Bryant, he developed the Black Mamba. If you know Eddie Hall, he also developed a alter ego as well when he went to go do his strongman meets. And so in turn, I unconsciously developed an alter ego, Mini Swole. I started calling myself Mini Swole. And without realizing it, during that time, I would go into the gym and I would put a hat on. And every time before I would go work out, I had this little ritual that I didn't realize that I did, but I did it. When I think back now, I would put on my hat, and then I think it's called the beak part of the hat. I would fold it down so that my peripheral vision was blocked, and I would be completely tunnel visioned. And I would go in, I would do my workout, I would stay concentrated the whole time, because that was the only thing that I was thinking about as Mini Swole. Only thing I was thinking about was obtaining my goal, making sure that I had a good workout, making sure that I was progressively overloading, or whatever it was that I was trying to focus on that day. So that was the only thing that my mind was thinking about whenever I stepped foot into that gym. Now I actually don't have to wear the hat, because I think it became so routine for me now that with or without the hat, I can lock in, because it's just become so habitual for me now. So that's that. I hope I was able to explain that to you guys, and hopefully you guys are able to understand it. But if not, again, I'm going to try to find that video for you so that it can explain it in a more clear way, because that is exactly what I'm trying to articulate to you guys, but probably not in the best way right now. So, oh yeah, my Diet Coke, ignore it. I am currently satiating my cravings, although I don't really have much cravings, with my Diet Coke. This has been in my fridge for about, I think a month now. Okay, so that's that. Motivation, how I stay locked in. Now for how I progressively overload and increase weight every single week. So again, this is something I had to sit down and think about, because I never really understood why, but now I do, I think. So I've realized when I go to do my workout, when I step into the gym, although there are numbers on the weights, I don't actually think about what the weight means. So let me explain that better. In my head, I don't tell myself, or I don't psych myself out. I don't tell myself, that's heavy. And I also don't tell myself, that's light. I just go in and I lift the weight, being whatever it is, 70, 80, 90. But I am aware of what weight I did the week before, so that I could try to do a heavier weight the week after. But I think a really big thing when it comes to lifting the weight is all your mental. Because if you overthink prior to even trying to lift the weight, then you are going to psych yourself out. And I try my best not to do that. So that's kind of how I deal with that. And it's really helped me. But in saying that, I also make sure that I listen to my body too. So it's a very fine balance between listening to my body and also trying to lift the weight. But this comes with time. The more that it's like they say, the more that you practice something, the better that you're gonna get at it, and the easier that it'll be for you. And eventually it'll become second nature, right? And I've been lifting for a while now. So I know when my body is telling me you can't do this today, or when my body is telling me you're actually feeling very strong today, go ahead and try to hit a personal best. So I'm very in tune with my body in that way, and I'm sure a lot of other athletes are as well. And sometimes when people tell me, oh wow, like you lift heavy, I'll kind of turn and I'll be like, oh, like, is it? And sometimes it's kind of like, maybe I'm being ignorant, right? And I'm just allowed, they say ignorance is bliss. And I think for this particular aspect, it might be good because it allows me to be able to lift heavy. But then again, still being aware and in tune with my body. Because I'm not giving advice right now, by the way, guys. I'm just telling you what my process is. So I don't want you guys to be going out and doing the same thing and then all of a sudden injuring yourselves. Like, do whatever process is best for you. However you've been lifting your weights, your own process. But I'm just explaining what my mentality is and how I progressively overload. I guess I just try to think as positively as possible when it comes to lifting weights. And a lot of times too is I'll go in, and if I can't lift something that week, then I tell myself I'm gonna do it. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when.